All right, you rascals, settle down. It's story time. And today your Nana is going to explain how buses used to be before you all had phones. Yes, I know that was only about 15 years ago. But honestly, it feels like a lifetime ago. Time has passed so quickly. Have you ever wondered what it was like? Well, wonder no more. Hop aboard. It was a Tuesday. I was about 12, and I was waiting for the bus with my mate Donna. We were gonna go shopping in town, just the two of us. I remember it was winter. I had my thick jacket on, my scarf, my hat, and I had one of those big old school bags that had to do up at the front because my mom said I wasn't allowed to carry a handbag. So I slung that over my shoulder and waited impatiently for the bus. Back in the day, there were these big red buses that came around the estate once an hour. They were double-deckers, which meant there were 2 levels of seats. And I always sat upstairs because I thought it was more fun. The bus would pull up outside a little parade of shops. The driver would open the doors, and then we would either pay him or give him our bus pass. He'd say, day trip or return, and you tell him, and then he would give you a ticket with a little perforated strip at the top. Then he'd drive off, leaving us hanging onto the hand straps above our heads as he went. There was always cigarette smoke on the buses, even though they weren't allowed to smoke on there. There was always this smell of stale urine, too, and the floors were always covered in chewing gum and a strange sticky substance that you couldn't identify, probably some sort of industrial residue. There were these long, hard wooden seats, and if it was busy, you'd have to sit right next to a stranger, and you'd end up chatting to them because there was nowhere else to put yourself. And sometimes they were lovely people who gave you sweets from their handbag, and sometimes they were creepy old men who just stared at you awkwardly. But there was nothing you could do about it because there was no escaping them. Once you reached the top deck, there was only one toilet, and it was always out of order. And if you didn't get off at the right stop, you'd have to walk miles because they didn't have those little electronic stop signs that tell you where you are. And if it was summer, you'd be absolutely roasting because there was never any air conditioning. And if it was winter, you'd be absolutely freezing because they never had any heating. The only source of warmth was the driver downstairs, and he never turned his heating on. And then there was the journey itself. Oh, the journey. Back in the olden times, bus drivers were allowed to drive however they pleased. And they pleased. They were horrible. They would slam on the brakes, pull out into the middle of the road to overtake other buses, drive on the wrong side of the road to avoid traffic, swerve to avoid potholes. It was an absolute nightmare. If you were sitting upstairs, your seat would go all the way back so far that if the bus braked suddenly, you'd shoot up in the air and hit your head on the ceiling. But despite all that, I loved riding the bus with my friends. I think it was because there was something exciting about getting out of the house and seeing where the day would take us. Nowadays, kids spend all their time indoors on their phones and computers. They don't know how good it is to get out and experience the world. I mean, look at me. I'm 63 and I've got more wrinkles than a sharpening-axe dog. But I've also got a lifetime of memories. And it all started when I was a kid getting on that old red bus with a ticket in my hand and a song in my heart. Just make sure you get off at the right stop, love, or you'll be walking home in the dark. Did you listen? Did you write that down? You never listen, do you? Oh, I'm gonna tell your Nan. Did you enjoy today's story? Then be sure to check out more stories from your Nana. Until next time, stay sweet, stay curious, and above all, stay kind. Bye, loves.